Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our class of February 16th. And I just want to say that we're getting started. We're going along very nicely. And we're titling this Drive Traffic, Then Convert. You can put up the best post in the world on Facebook or Google Plus, Twitter, wherever it is. But if it's not driving to a point of sale, it's doing you no good. And then once they're at the point of sale, we need to convert them into customers. So while this pertains mostly to blogs, what we want to do is, what you can do is use it for any kind of public speaking. You can use it for websites. You can use it for anything you do. You just got to know a few techniques. We want to talk about content creation. Again, whether it's verbal or whether it's in print, you want to know what to do and how to relate to the most people as soon as you can. So the first thing you have to do when you create content is set up an identification. Get in touch with your audience. We'll talk about this in a couple of seconds, but what you want to do is give a little story or tell a little tale. It doesn't have to be about you. It could be about a third party, anybody you want. And it's like when I start our classes, I always talk about how I went from meeting to meetings. I'd hand out their business cards. They'd hand theirs to me. And neither one of us intended on buying anything from each other. If you ever looked around the class while I'm saying that, everyone's head's nodding because we've all done it. And it sets up an identification so that people know I understand them and they understand me. Your goal is to go, he's just like me. You want people to say, hey, the speaker, whether you're man or woman, he's just like me or she's just like me. This is where I am and I want to get out. Logic and reason, that's the facts. That's your product and service, what it does, how it works, what you do, why you hire, whatever it is. And believe it or not, nobody cares. Remember that. What's in it for me? That's what people are asking in their minds. The facts don't matter, and I'll show you why. Before I show you why, there's a section called Attack and Confess. That's where you handle objections. You attack yourself, and you attack third parties. Never, ever, ever attack your audience. But that's where you could say that, well, it's like when I show in our class. What I do is I show how I went and did all those things, got kicked off a lot of social media sites, and then I show that picture of me, my results, one big goose egg. Right? You handle objections before they come up. Because people are saying now social media doesn't really work. And there I am. I'm saying it out loud so that people can relate to the social media. And then the solution. I use my screenshot of BazarMart being found on Google. And then notice I make everybody there with their laptops Google it as well so that they can see themselves that it actually works, and that's impressive. So what you want to do is have a solution. How's the world going to be better because they used your product, used your service, hired you, whatever. Those are the four things. So remember those. Write them down if you have to. ID, logic and reason, attack and confess, and then the solution and why the world's a better place. Those are important ingredients in your blog posts. And if you're speaking in public, very important ingredients. You want your audience to attack. And you'll see the greens and reds. I put identification and solution in green. Those are the most important. Now, identification is first because if you don't get a good identification from the beginning, they're not going to listen to you long enough to reach the solution. So the most important part is the identification. Second most important is your solution. The third most important is the attack and confess, where you handle the objections before they come out of the people's mouths or minds. And logic and reason, the facts. Nobody really cares. That's the least important. You have to give enough facts to make an emotional decision. That's just the way it is. Okay, on. And now the perfect presentation comes in. You must know your audience. This is a review for a lot of people. But we're going to go through it because what's true here is true in your blog post. And we did a little call to action session last week. And it's just as important here as it is in those calls to action. And you want to start out with 2 facts everybody agrees on. Again, I'm going to go out and say I went to those networking meetings. I handed my business card. They handed me theirs. We didn't want to buy. Everybody agrees with that. Everybody's gone and spent time and money at those network meetings. So those were 2 things that I always mention at the beginning of my presentation, because it's what they'll relate to and it gets people's heads bobbing. Don't forget the magic phrases. I won't go through the complete lesson on this right now. Not for this video. You can go to last week's video on why and how they work. But remember, most people agree that, and people's heads start nodding because everyone wants to be part of most people. It's psychological. Everybody knows, or everybody says, everybody knows it takes a lot of time involved in using social media, and everybody says that they want to get out and do business. However, if you haven't got an hour or so a day to promote your business, you're in the wrong place. Well, remember we tested this in the class? If you start, let's say, let me try and think one. Well, that he's getting a lot of orders online because of what he does, and when their heads are bobbing, they're agreeing with you. And everybody loves old sayings. There's an old saying, you get what you can take out what you put in, and things like that people agree with, and it wouldn't be an old saying if it wasn't true, right? Always, always, always at the end, ask engaging questions, no matter what, and always remember this: never give a choice between something and nothing. Never give a question that's yes or no. Give it, would you like a large or small? Would you like to start today or tomorrow? Always yes and yes. Always give a choice between yes and yes, never yes and no. People are like water. They'll take the path of least resistance, and it's always easier just to say no, or that deadly, I'll think about it. So always give a choice between something and something, never something and nothing. And never be afraid. If the answer is no, I haven't had anybody who is dead set against what I offer ever have a problem telling me no, but I always offer choices. Okay, I'm going to take a look at this blog and kind of give you an idea. This is mine. I've shown it in our class, I know. And while it's not perfect, because, as a blog, it doesn't have enough words in it and it's not relevant, yet this one went so viral, I can't help bragging about it. This went across every social media site, and all it was is how to clean fruit, how to clean cherries with water and vinegar. So, let's go through when you're blogging and what to do. Number 1, a title. Think of a title for your blog that people will search for. I notice people searching for cleaning fruit and cleaning vegetables, and so I made my title that. And next is your picture, and we talk about pictures all the time. Notice this is in the 650 by 325, the 2-to-1 ratio. So when I share it across to Facebook, it comes out right. If I share it to Google Plus, it'll come out right. These are picture techniques. We have separate lessons on that. The longer your blog is, the more pictures you want to make. Have one in the recommended size of 650 by 325. Have one at 650 by 650, just so that breaks up the reading room and the white space in there. If you're doing 250 words, you probably want 2 to 3 pictures. If you're doing a 1,000-word blog, you probably want 4 or 5, just to break up all the words in it. Next, your article. Again, for blogs, 250 words or more to be relevant as far as the search engines are concerned. No, this doesn't fit that, but I'm just using this, and it was small enough to put it in a PowerPoint so that you could see. So let's assume this is 250 words. Plus, I made this almost 2 years ago, so this I wasn't doing it right then. And so there it is. There's the article, the body, where you use all your techniques, and the spider food. We want to attract the search engines with spider food so that the spiders come down. And so what are they going to use? Here we go. Notice I put source, Bazaar Mart Nutritional Cleanse, right there. That source, that's a link straight to my website at bazaarmart.com. I put in my phone number, just as we were taught in the perfect post. And I put in my email address for anybody who wants to contact me right away. Next are 2 links, one to Bazaar Mart on Facebook, so people can click and get right over to Facebook, and the Nutritional Cleanse Phoenix is a keyword link that'll take you straight to my Google Plus page and using those keywords. Now, Bazaar Mart on Facebook, I should probably change that. I would Nutritional Cleanse Diet on Facebook to keyword it. Again, this is old, but this is your spider food. I have 3 links in there, 3 to my website, to Facebook, and to Google Plus. I always juggle those around. Sometimes you may want to do it to a YouTube video, have that. I always keep it down to about 3 external links. And those external links, of course, will link back to everything else I do. And I just spin the spiders around and around and around the internet. So those are very important at the bottom of every article. And if you don't know, there's lessons on how to even get people to like, comment, and share straight from Facebook from your blog post here. We'll do that in a future lesson. And so next, my calls to action. Now, I don't use calls to action within the body. That's a preference I do. You could put this right into the article, put a good, better, best, always give choices. I like to have it on the sidebar. I copied it from Google, seems to work for Google, and people can click on it, and when they're ready to buy, they do. And as I said, I'm selling more from these 3 links than I am from my website. So those are your calls to action. Again, you always want 3, and they show up very nicely. And this is actually a screenshot of my blog, so you can see how they do stand out. So let's get on to our assignment this week. Okay, your assignment is number 1, the identification. He's just like me. Make your paragraph, start creating your content, but I want that first paragraph, your identifying paragraph, where you're going to relate to your audience. The first paragraph is of utmost importance. If you don't capture their attention within 10 seconds, everything else is moot. You have to be fast and quick, so get those 2 facts in there and get them in right away so that they'll read the rest. Post your paragraph for analysis for this week's class as a comment under this video. This will be posted into the room as a class. I will message you. I know it came out late, but I thought it was most important so that I could give a step-by-step on what we're doing and how to do it, right? Monday night, we're going to have a brainstorming session. We're going to talk about everybody who posts their first paragraph in there. We'll brainstorm them. We'll come up with ideas for everybody, because what works for me may not work for you. So we have to talk with each other and get the idea on the ID. So develop your identification. You don't have to complete your whole blog. Just get that first paragraph in, right? And don't forget your magic phrases. Don't forget, your most people everybody says, there's an old saying, and it's just like I say, most people agree social media takes a whole lot of time, but the rewards are worth it. So think of those, use just a couple of them. You don't have to use them all at once. That's crazy. But always get it done within the first 4 lines of your introduction, because that's all you're going to have to get their attention so that they'll read the rest. With that, I will see you all Monday night, and we'll have our brainstorming session. And thank you for being here, and talk to you Monday night.